All right, good morning, everyone. More faces. It's fun. Hey, if you're ready to jump on your bike at 7 o'clock, we're going to join you. It's the Watopia course, TikTok, nice, easy course. No erg mode, just ride it. You can be in your small chain ring. Just start to bring your body temperature up. Maybe do a couple of openers. It's great.
Okay. And we are live stream, guys.
Okay, live streaming has begun. So good morning, everyone, to the Peg and Sand event. This brainchild was formulated a couple of months ago, just as a way to keep people focused, bring people together, have something to work towards, maybe set a few benchmarks, use some fitness we developed over the summer. So many purposes for this. We had a great reception, so it's so exciting to see everybody this morning. November 29th, 7 o'clock Pacific time. We've got 2 time zones going on here. Fun. Bermuda to Florida to California, Seattle, Vancouver, Point Robert. So if anybody has any questions along the way, just unmute yourself and come in. Otherwise, do your thing, whatever you need to do to get ready. And we've got about half an hour now, less than that, until the race begins. Please do not join the race until 7:30.
All right. Music okay, guys? Maybe you have your home. A little bit of beat in the background.
My name is Jordan. Your perspective on hearing and maybe. Joanne,
Yep.
maybe turn off the noise of music at your game and your Zwift game.
Turning up the noise. Turning up the noise. Sorry for my phone. This with noise. That's not on.
Since Jan here, how do I get into the screen here, please?
To which screen?
Oh, the one you're in. Is that?
It's
Can I be part of?
it's doable. I don't have the answer, unfortunately. So there's a
Okay,
bit of
all right.
technology to do this. But we can chat after, and my
Yeah,
colleague
okay.
will share his secret. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
me see cadence. Oh, RP is I pulled out the relics.
What's that?
Like shorts.
Oh yeah, baby.
And this is a real relic. Web
Oh my God, web core. That is so great. Let me see the back.
I pulled out the relics.
I love it. Gina's in her Canada gear.
Oh,
Nice.
and my Olympic socks.
Oh, and her Olympic
Oh, yeah,
socks.
right there, baby.
Nice.
Yeah, that is
Pulled
awesome.
out the relics for today, guys.
That
But
is
not
awesome.
only the Canada gear, but national champion
Here,
jersey,
here, you like it.
which is one step higher,
Yes, the relics.
double step higher.
I gotta get a Dixie Devil kit or something.
Totally.
Did you see my post? They said, they're like, if you're receiving this stuff, it's then you're on the team. And I said, does that mean I'm a draft? I don't know if
Good morning, everyone. So great to see your faces. Karen's in her hat too. Okay, so see, cold out there. So listen. Good morning, Rob Carter. Listen, if you want to be social, you can be social. Use your companion app. Text other people. You can ride on people. You can engage. You're gonna see how Brittany really engages with the group, makes it fun. Once the effort starts, you'll probably want to, focus inward on that. But otherwise, jump in there, make conversation. I've started in on TikTok. Very easy pedaling. Lots of riders this morning. Oh my gosh, 11,000 riders circling around. A lot of people from Canada, it seems. Must be getting cold in that country. So at a socially distanced effort, I'm joined by Dave Markham, Tina Grain this morning, and Dave's Garage. Gina's going to capture this moment, but the way I do it is I have my Zoom going on my laptop, I have Zwift going on my iPad, and I have my companion app going on my iPhone. Everybody's setup is a little bit different, but that's what I do. Dave has an Apple TV set up, but you really kind of need 3 devices if you want to be interactive. Oh, there you go. So it's nice too if you guys can capture all of your data points. So if you've got heart rate, you've got your cadence, you've got your power, you match that up with a little bit of RPE, and we'll really see how the experience is for you. Brittany, any last minute tips? You need to see your face.
I guess a couple people, I don't know if it was Tony or Jan, he didn't have trainer difficulty. They had 0 at trainer difficulty.
Yeah?
So put it up to at least half.
Okay, so
Okay.
that's a very important point. So under your settings, the trainer difficulty, Brittany's suggesting to have it at least at 50%. I just got a phone to join the event, and I'm going to say not yet.
Yeah.
So you can see mine is at
29
the
minutes until the event begins.
good. Just, yeah, you can see how to do it, or minimum is good.
Hi. So for trainer difficulty, I should go into settings and change
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Susan, yeah,
Just change it right there. You'll see it under settings.
Maybe. Oh no, I don't have it. Oh, there it is.
Can we show again, Chris?
Okay.
Just in case you guys can see on my window where it
It
is.
was already almost at 50.
Perfect. I think it defaults to 50. Try out all your positions, your time trial position on the hoods, on the crossbars, wherever you think you're going to be riding from.
Yeah. Good, thanks. Get the fan on. I'm soon close to. Sure, everyone has their bottle, their food if needed, everything nearby, all organized.
Go to control room. Oh, your Bluetooth's not working.
712.
There, your Bluetooth's blinking. Go to control room.
It's time to put a little bit of effort. 2 minutes before heading to the start of the race. Some base endurance, getting that tempo. Reaching a good 6.5, 6, 7 out of 10 maybe. So everyone has their own warm-up routine, but really what we want is get a good level of activation without generating fatigue. And it's a long time trial, so it doesn't need to be as intense as a 10K time trial. We want to get some activation in.
Guys can get your warm-up. The event starts in 25 minutes. It's like you see, at races, they're on their trainers, getting ready.
So we started.
we've got a little bit of calories close at hand. Remember, this is an individual effort. It's an individual time trial. You're racing against yourself. You're using up some of your fitness that we've been building. You're benchmarking your fitness. You're building fitness in that we're developing some fatigue. When we're done this, you guys, those of you that are running will transition, do a 5K run or a 3-mile run. Zoom will keep running. And when we will reconvene here. After that run, Joannie will be chatting a little bit with any of the cyclists afterwards. And then the runners will meet back here and we're gonna do a little bit of core and activation. So that's gonna be the morning.
You need my heart rate?
No, don't fuss over it because I don't wanna ruin them.
It's not looking up from our eyes. So
Yeah, I bet if you close down and drop back up, I'm sure it would work, but let's not play with it. It's too bad. Can you reach to turn your, Gina, can you reach to join the event or you'll turn off? Oh yeah, you're coming, okay.
That's how I got you.
If you want us to join event, we will not
So
join
the only
soon.
person really not joining us on Zoom is Dave Markham, but in fact,
Yeah, but not now.
he's
But
here.
yes. Yeah, not now. Okay.
There's Dave.
Yep.
Maybe I'll turn it when the race begins.
So Chris, I look at my speed.
What? All right, what do we get, you guys? 21 minutes. 21 minutes. So that means 10 minutes before I want everybody to join the event.
I guess so. 2%. Yeah.
It's a beautiful day in Waukegan. I was backcountry skiing yesterday in Squamish. It's called Red Heather Mountain. Beautiful blue sky when we got above the clouds. So it felt like a perfect pre-race activity to do. Pretty low key. And then Mark called me. All right, the last 10 minutes, you guys, I want everybody to do a couple of pickups. 30 seconds, 45 seconds, maybe 1 minute. Just to get the heart rate going. A bit of blood pumping. You do it on your time. One 30-second effort, one 45-second effort, and one 1-minute effort. 19 minutes before the race begins. Morning, Marshall. So once again, we're going to be morning, Jen and Bermuda. We're going to be playing music through Zoom. If you want to mute that out, means you're doing your own cycling, and you can play your own music. Your choice. Is that your trainer referring?
It's possible.
Yeah.
Trainer noise. Yeah.
Is it not possible to use that music in music? Or you guys, couple deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Loosen up the shoulders. Make sure you get some of those efforts in. So about 6 minutes until we're going to join the event. So everybody, it's going to be a 5K run. For those of you guys running. 3 miles. Miles as opposed to kilometers. It's swift effort. Whatever you got. For most of you guys, I want your cadence for this time trial to be over 80 RPM. Over 90 for some of you guys that have a higher turnover. Some of you like to push a bigger gear. It all depends on who you are as an athlete, cyclist, how you train.
Okay, I just signal you maybe. Yeah, just signal, yeah. Okay. Yes, I'll just signal.
Hopefully you have a fan blowing on you somewhere, or some cross breeze. Morning, Heather Johnson. Welcome, welcome. Ryan Busto.
Hi, everybody.
Nice to have you. Hopefully you guys had a chance to write bright next to your avatar's name, just so we can identify you. If you haven't done so, don't worry about it. I have a feeling this won't be the last of what we are doing together. You can always add it next time. Right, 2 minutes, 20 seconds. In 1 minute, 45 seconds. I'm going to invite you to join the event. Hopefully everybody's been prompted to join event on your companion app or your Zwift app.
Get on the Zoom. Okay, I'm gonna that should be good. That she will try. That she will try. Okay.
Pedaling when you do eventually join the event. Hi, Angie. Nice to see you. Wow. Last and fast. Like 25 seconds or so. Then I want you to join the event. Nothing on
I'm gonna new. Okay.
All right, going to the event. Hang tight. Ooh, look at that. We are all in the same outfit.
Join event, you said? Yeah.
Go to the event.
Oh, sweet, we'll have our own jerseys.
Yeah. So we're all in sort of team kit, if you will. Again, it's sort of unpredictable. We don't necessarily know when this is going to happen. So I guess today, for whatever reason, we've been assigned a specialized shift. There's Brittany already. She's saying good morning to everybody. She knows a lot of riders on Zwift. So she's being social, saying hi. Takes a little bit of the anxiety away too, just to connect with other people. Kind of nice. Oh, no, you like that? Great.
Yeah, we all do. Yeah. So Christine, the wheels that we picked are the wheels that we get. That's good news. So we have all those three.
Yeah. So we got to sign everything. Maybe just the wheels.
Just the wheels. So I
Yeah.
have the disc wheel on the back.
You chose.
Yeah.
So it looks like we got, if you chose wheels, you got wheels. But otherwise, they've assigned us the bike. Sunday, Sunday, fun day, Sunday. Someone stole your glasses. What the heck? I think I'm without a helmet now. This event has an assigned bike. We're on Tempest Puget. 7 minutes and 15 seconds. Eric, welcome. Look at that crowd. Woo! Remember though, you guys, individual effort, right? We talked about pacing in our meeting. I want you to break it down, maybe 4 times 10K. You want to have a steady output. Some fluctuations might come from the road, but really, graph here a pretty steady output. Not much. No drafting, TT, no drafting. That's it. Or maybe find the year you want to start in. As Brittany was telling us in the race meeting, you don't need to start like a Zwift race. You got to be up to like 6.0 watts per kilogram or higher. This is different, this format. You can really just build into it. Have an idea in your mind how you want to pace, how you want to feel, how you want to push yourself. Have everything close at hand. Your towel, your water, maybe a gel. I'll be doing some prompting. Joanne will be doing some prompting.
Right now, less than 5 minutes is really about staying warm, guys. Minimum tension, keeping the legs warm. Any last minute, have a sip. Some are used to have a gel or something right before. That's the deadline now.
Big effort this morning, everyone. Create success for yourself, mentally, physically, there for you. gonna get missed.
Last thing I would add.
Your final P now. 3 minutes, 30 seconds.
It's you know, we're all excited. Remember, it's a 40K time trial, so let's build into it, and we'll carry that energy throughout the whole 40K. But yeah, have fun, everyone. For those of you who are staying, we're gonna try to look at one file maybe and have a bit of a debrief on that. Stay tuned. First race of the year.
All right, you guys, start to ramp it up, inside and outside. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. You need your own music, you can play your own music. You need to tone us out, you tone us out. This is on. Started in this morning. Salad. What? 90 seconds, you guys. I just want to recognize Gear Up Cycling. They've done a ridiculously amazing job on the technology side of things for us. Tina Grain for teaming up with Bright and all of the athletes, building strength. And all of you guys for showing up. We got 1 minute, 10 seconds. We're gonna go quiet now. Morning, Alistair. How you doing, buddy? Nice to see you. Lauren, y'all good?
When I was in TikTok, I didn't press join meetup and I went out. And when I went back in, there's no join meetup, so I can't find this restart.
You got 30 seconds. It should prompt you.
It's not, I've gone in and out a bunch of times. It's not finding.
Try your iPhone. Pull your iPhone. Pull zip stuff on your iPhone. Get out of your computer. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. How are you guys?
risky. Really nice, steady rhythm. Something we can sustain for now 15, more or less. Everyone looks good, relaxed, in control. Team in looks great.
All right, 3K in.
Great to see our buddies nearby. Christine, two of you. Nice work, guys. We are 7 minutes in. So just over 7 minutes. Check your RPE. 6.57. across the 5K mark.
Little incline, little incline.
Excellent, nice work, nice steady rhythm. Control your breathing. Upper body relax. Speed goes up and down. Power and effort to be consistent. Big milestone, 10 minutes. Keep up the great work, guys. One sit here and there.
Be steady, everyone, nice and steady. 7K in.
Check in with your body position. Shoulders relaxed. Arms. Saving some energy here and there. And breathe. So 15 minutes in, I just crossed the 10-kilometer mark. So could estimate around 1 hour, 1 hour 5. That can be the same. Estimate your time at this stage. And ask yourself, is this an effort I can sustain for 45 minutes?
30K to go, 10K now.
Can you pick it up? Work, everyone. Easy to zone out sometimes in those long, steady efforts. Stay in it, stay in the moment, stay sharp. Strong and steady. The beginning is behind us. We're really in it. And check in with yourself, your effort. You're doing great. Stay engaged, be present. Nice steady rhythm. For maybe a 7 out of 10 here. Still early in the game, but before we know it, it'll be over. Steady and strong.
Good, Jen. Work, girl.
in. I encourage you guys to check when you reach those milestones. Every 5K, it's a win. If you're feeling uncomfortable right now, that's exactly where you should be. So keep on going.
Kilometers to go, everyone. Keep on. Oh. And you just hold it in the back of your head. Right, 15 pounds, like 25 to go. 25. Sorry about that. Good. Ryan. Work. Know thyself, know thyself, know your fitness. You don't know it, start to learn it. Click. And you need to stretch that lower back. Hamstring.
Sunday morning. Where else would we want to be? This is actually the best of all worlds. We're doing a time all, but together. Angie, Christine, we're on the same path. Keep on rolling. Again, each milestone, every 2K, every 5K, whatever works for you, is worth celebrating in a way. So I'm at 18.9, highly looking forward to the 20K mark. I'm gonna ask myself, what can I give for 20K PT from now on? Strong, steady rhythm.
All right, almost halfway through. Now you should know where you're at.
one sip of sport drink here and there. It helps. Keep the blood sugar up. Gives energy to the brain instantly.
I guess not in here.
Okay, you guys, over 30 minutes in. Over 30. That's where your exercise lies. Make a little mental calculation. Take this time. Find steady but strong.
Nice work, guys. Strong, steady rhythm.
Good, everyone. We're all over that 30-minute mark. You're well warmed. Find your yourself. Find the second wind, find the third wind. You're all set. All the time.
Excellent, keep it up. We all had, or we will all have, little periods of lows. Pick it up. Strength is normal. Stay focused. Stay positive. Get that key word. It's handy. Power, strong. You got this. Use it when you need it. We're all moving forward. Celebrate the small victories. First one is showing up, but way past that. $25K in for me means words of wisdom. Trust yourself. Trust yourself that you can handle this and you have more to give. You're at the verge of discomfort. Like David Gerd would say, open that door.
Play with all your positions. Find the most powerful, most efficient.
Just had my gel. 13.4K to go.
Over 40 minutes. Over 40. We're getting there. We're all getting there. Mind is the most powerful instrument you have. Use it. What you guys feel are happening? When you get to 10K to go, I want you to lap your garment. Your last power. Or your Wahoo helmet, whatever device you're using. Lap it at 10K to go.
Nice work, everyone. Big milestone coming up, that's 45-minute mark. So great to see all those windows all in this together. And everyone looks like they have more to give. That's great. We're on track.
Right, 40. Ready?
Great work, everyone. One strong second half.
Next, the last one, take a lap. Take a lap.
All right, let's keep it up.
That's it.
James, buddy, I see you really close. Keep up the good work. Staying safe. Everyone else, nice work.
Over 50.
Okay, I see Dave Markham 3 spots ahead. Individual efforts, but extra motivation right here. got 5K to go. Some of you may be 10, some maybe 2 to go. Ask yourself, what can you give for that time or distance left? Can you get a little more? Riding with Angie right now. A little bit ahead. Doing great. Rocking it, girl. Sarah earlier. Strong, consistent effort, guys. $4K to go. That's a pursuit on the track.
Some of you guys are really in the home stretch.
Strong mindset all the way to the end. Siren's Lick looking good.
Five minutes.
Two and a half K to go. We try to break the hour. Why not? Taking bets.
So that's not.
It will be tough. Nice work, group. You need the hour. Do whatever drives you.
The hour mark is close for everyone. No matter your distance.
strong, buddy.
When you're done, you're going for a run. Go for a run. You don't need to wait for too much. Transition. Go for a run. Woo! Yeah! It does it! Woo!
Go, Ryan.
Under an hour! Woo!
Ryan,
Nice.
flat, run, ready. Ryan, Gusto soon.
Ryan, flat. Under 1 hour.
Funny and flat and fried.
Hi, guys. Nice work. Stay engaged. You got this. 10, 15, 20 minutes. That's it. You guys are awesome. That strong power output. Love the intensity. Our two first finishers.
Sign up with you guys. You're finished. Start your spin or transition.
James Tate, excellent.
Woo! Good job, James. Nice push. Ryan Busto. Amazing. Oh, David hasn't just opened.
Huh?
Hasn't just opened now. No, it has. Great work, everyone. Keep riding. Keep riding. You're not finished, keep riding. If you're running, you're off your bike, onto the run. There's no down. Do it. Really, really good. I'm just sitting down on this like this. Congratulations.
Yes. Great job, everyone. Where's Gina? You got this. Great work, team. Yeah, bestie, strong, powering, go, go, go. You got this.
Keep pushing, keep pushing. Good ride, Angie.
Angie, great work. Great to have you.
Mike Marshall's off and running. Thanks for Jesse. Jen Wilson and Bermuda, you on your phone. Ian Thompson and Steph Adam, who I know is on her own bike. And joining us. There's so many different ways to join.
Came in looking good. You got this. Steady and strong. And Tara Rosenberg. Nice work. Got it.
I did say before that I would like to introduce Okino.
Gina, impressive.
Thanks for seeing everybody. Yeah. I was just wondering. I throw the best party. Good job, Steve in Florida.
Hi, Steve.
Okay, Zoom is going to keep running. Make sure you save that file when you're done for those of you guys still riding. I don't want you to do anything other than to focus on yourself. We're going to do that faster. Thanks, Andy, for coming. So great to see you. All right, we're going with the one back here.
Wish I had known about this race before yesterday. I'm just kidding. Whew. Go Susan!
All right, go Kim in, go, go, go. Alistair in the transition. Have a great run.
I'm going to another race, so I'll see you guys since I can't run.
Bye.
Great job.
Nice one.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll wait
have
for
a
the
good
end.
one.
You guys will meet back here to the time. When you finish your run, I want you guys to grab some nutrition just to have the bottle with you when we're doing a little bit of mobility work. Joanne's going to take over and do a little bit of a debrief with everybody, not running, but so Zoom stays on.
Gonna wait a few more minutes. We're gonna wait till everyone is done, has completed. Stay in your effort, stay in it. We'll be right here with you. Camel, you got this. Rub, looking strong. Those who have finished, make sure you spin easy for a few minutes. Get something to drink. Karen, excellent. Great push out there. You got this. Susan as well. Really solid out there. Keep up the great work.
Just move it, relax the shoulders, go, go, go.
everything open, right? Okay. For those powering through the finish, keep up the good work. When everyone is ready, we will have a little bit of a workshop about winter training, FTP, ways to improve our FTP in the winter months. If you just finished, you want to have a little bit of a cool down and get something to drink, maybe a quick snack you can bring with us and bring with you. And I will share my file actually from Training Peaks. No consent required here, makes it easy. Susan, great work. Kim in, keep up the good work. Arian as well. Huge inspiration, everyone, this morning. I really want to make sure everyone has their effort completed. Stay focused, stay engaged. Stay in it. Actually, I have a bit of my coffee left, maybe from this early morning. Brittany, how was it for you? Good? Good ride? Heather, in it. Keep it up. Kim in, just finished. Amazing. Heather, great work out there. Finishing strong. For those of you riding, if you are in your cool down, just maybe give me a thumbs up so I know. If you have completed the time trial. Brittany cooling down. So a little bit of an intro regarding this. I haven't done any time trial for many years. I'm a retired professional racer. I competed in Rio 2016. I'm also a cycling coach, physiologist, and I have to say that it was really jumping into it, straight into it with a 40K time trial. And one of the things that I said in the pre-race instruction in terms of pacing was to have a bit of a conservative approach because it's a long time trial. And that's the approach that I had. I had very little reference on my current fitness other than I estimated my FTP around 265. And I knew that by having a consistent power output around 85% or 90, I could sustain the whole thing. It's very, for me, it's a conservative approach, and that allowed me to have a very consistent ride. I would like to do it again in a few weeks and push it a little more, really testing that limit. But that was the start. So what you can see on the screen is the whole distance. Okay, the purple line is the power itself. I don't have my heart rate in it. What we can see, it's very consistent. And if I was auto-coaching myself, I could say, okay, you can go a little harder. Obviously, I wanted to be able to talk in between during the whole thing. I have to admit that I had few period of flows where my power dropped around 225, 220, 225. And that's okay. I think that when it happens, as I said during, it's important to not get discouraged by that. And tune in with your sensation and refocus. And in the last 5 minutes, 5K, I opened it up a little bit. I had that 1 hour motivation that helped. So I slowly ramp it up with 5K to go. Very consistent ride. My heart rate are probably uneven full. I have a low heart rate, probably settle around 155 at the beginning and finishing around 170. So not much to do in there, but as a start of the season, that's a reference. And if I invite you to analyze your ride, maybe divide it in 4 sections. The first 10K, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and the last one. I also, personally, I usually have a bit of a lull between 20 and 30. This time it didn't happen, and that tells me that I could have given a little extra. Average there includes the cool down, so it's not accurate. But just a cool thing to look at, how you manage your effort and try to take some observations based on your own ride, and also have some subjective notes that you can enter for yourself. How did you feel? How was your preparation before? Is there anything that you would consider to do for a next ride? Those are all things important to keep track on. Now, for time trial, one of the important determinants, and I talked about it with my own ride, it's that FTP, which stands for functional threshold power. Everyone talks about FTP in the cycling world, and basically it is an important determinant. It's a measure of an athlete's endurance capacity. It gives an estimate of what the power output that an athlete can sustain over 60 minutes, and there are tons of ways to measure it through a 20-minute test, a 5-minute test. We also have 2 times 20 minutes, and those are all good tests. They all have their pros and cons, but they are field tests that are easy to do yourself. You don't need to go to a lab or have someone with you when you do it. So it's good to have a bit of a test or benchmark every 2 months, 2 to 3 months, depending where you are in your training. Now, that FTP is a measure of your endurance. It is not the only important thing in endurance sports. One of the things is also your VO2 max. So if my FTP or my threshold, it's that zone 3, it's something I can sustain for 60 minutes. I go to a higher end, my VO2 max is something that I can sustain for 5 to 7 minutes. And it is really important as well. Sometimes we tend to put everything into that threshold, and it is important. It is the most important determinant of performance in long distance, but also important to assess what's your power at VO2 max, what you can sustain for a shorter period of time. And in more practical aspect, in the off-season, in the training phase like we are right now, it is, there's many ways to do it, but I strongly encourage you guys to work in those shorter effort, increasing that power at VO2 max through short efforts, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, up to 5 minutes. At this time, everyone has a good base. We worked on some tempo, some cadence work, some short neuromuscular stuff. And before we really dig into that threshold work during the winter, it is a good time to work on improving that power at VO2 max. Okay, everyone may be on a different schedule and have different priorities. And again, there's not only one way to get to one result, but before you, if you want to really maximize the development of your threshold, make sure that you push your ceiling a little bit higher so that your entrance capacity has room to grow. Okay, so that would be one of my tips for winter training. Another bonus is that those sessions, those high intensity interval are relatively short and allow you to recover quickly as well. So within 24 to 48 hours, you will have recovered in most of the case. So make sure that you keep, or that you work on improving that power at VO2 max before focusing on that threshold work. Threshold, I had a question, how long should the effort be? If I want to improve my threshold, it depends. My advice would be to start with some shorter blocks. Too often, we start with too much too soon. So even if you start with 1, 2, 3 minutes at threshold, repeated multiple times throughout the session, that's a great way to start, and aim to increase the duration time. So 5 minutes later on, then you'll go to some 10-minute blocks or longer over/under kind of thing later on, but start short and increase the duration. Now, in terms of training, what are the options that we do have? There are plenty of options. You may have your own plan, your own effort that Christine or Brittany prescribe. Some athletes I'm working with as well. You have the meetups, Zwift meetups. What we do here at Europe Cycling, we do offer live stream workouts Monday and Thursday 6:30, and we have a bank of workouts. And everything that I said, this is the type of progression and periodization that we are offering for our riders. Okay, so you don't have to do all the thinking. We sort of do it for you. You're able to see the effort. Maybe Chris, you can open our workout, or can we show a workout or maybe live stream? So I show you what it looks like. Titi, how does balance? I have a question here about the time trial, and I think it was about cadence. Everyone else, if you have some questions, please feel free to write in the Zoom. I'm going to take a look in just a second. What we are showing right now is our live stream. If you have a regular trainer, that is super easy to follow because you see the workout, you see the countdown, and you have the instruction as well. If you have Zwift or a smart trainer, you get the ZWO file just a day or two before the workout, and you're able to follow on Zwift or with your Garmin at the same time. So everyone has a free session with the Peg in the Sand event. I hope to see look at the some next of you. Set, very straightforward, 20 on, 30 off. Cadence is 95 RPM. It sounds like my voice. We're gonna start right now. So you get a little bit of a workout sample here with some short. So relatively high cadence, high power. And now I'm gonna get into, so we'll keep the live stream there so you can see it, but I wanna see some of the questions that you guys have. That's on the Zoom chat. If you have any question, even if it's about, okay. So you can also unmute yourself and ask the question directly. If you have any question on your time trial or on training. I had one about cadence. I want to be able to read it. Question about cadence. How do we balance cadence? Okay, for TT, how to best balance RPM and what gear? I found I had to use 80 to 85 RPM, could not hold 90 RPM at the hardest gear. It's a great question. I'm from a road cycling background. Having trouble hearing. So Jan, let me know if is it better? So for the time trial, how to best balance RPM? It really depends on training and personal preference. I'm coming from a road cycling background, and the key cadence in a time trial is often 90 RPM and up. I do know that for a long distance triathlete, you will be more efficient at a lower cadence. So 82, 85 RPM totally makes sense. 90 RPM and up often requires a fair amount of training, and it may or may not be worth it for your discipline, but it is doable, and it is possible to save energy with increasing your cadence. Was the climber pushing the higher power on the flat is hard? Yeah, pushing the higher power on the flat is hard. If you are a climber, great advantage on the hills. You have a high power to rate ratio, and keeping in mind that what is important is your effort, your overall effort, keeping your effort consistent, and don't try to go from a 7 to a 9 on the flat, for example, or 8.5 to get that extra gear, that extra power. You have, keeping that effort consistent is key. And if you going to give a little extra there, make sure that you don't spend too much effort getting to that extra 2 or 3 kilometers per hour. That would be my suggestion. Any other question? Or you can carry on some question that you had. Annabelle, I think.
Oh, no, sorry, I just got back from a run.
Oh, good. Welcome back.
Thanks. Ooh, that hurt a lot.
Yes, nice work. You just completed it. So, Christine, let me know if I answered your question.
Yeah, thanks so much. I was just so frustrated. I was like, I can't get to 90, and if I do, I'm spinning too easy a gear.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really hard. I'm on the flats. Power is not my thing.
But it's a good observation that you had. It happened. It can get irritating in a race. So observing how you react to those different conditions, I think it's very good on your end. And today was a very flat time trial, which I enjoyed. But there are some time trial for everyone, and it's good to practice being out of that comfort zone and all kinds of terrain. So we can see on the screen, train with grain. For strength training, we have some things for you guys, everyone who's attending the Peg in the Sand. For our live stream, gearupcycling.ca, you can book a single session, and the coupon code will be PEG, capital letter, PEG 2020. We'll send it by email, but Gina has something to offer as well on top of the strength workshop starting soon. Brittany, I want to ask you if there's anything a bit more tri-specific or something if you have anything to add on what I just said. You guys are the tri expert. I'm the cycling person. You're also the Zwift expert. So anything, feel free to jump in. Anyone has feedback on their own ride? Anything they want to share? How did it go? Did it meet your expectation? Did you surprise yourself? In any case, it's a great starting point in late November.
This is Betsy. I was pretty surprised that the hour-long effort was pretty consistent with my FTP.
Nice. Okay. And when did you test your FTP? Was it recently?
About a month ago.
Okay.
It
Good.
was within a few points, so
Okay.
pretty
And
interesting.
your were you around time-wise? Can you give me a reference?
I was at a just under 106.
Okay. Good. So that's a really good sign, being able to sustain your FTP for over 1 hour. It may be a sign of progress.
Yeah.
So that's great news. It's a great way to start.
Yeah.
How did you test your FTP? Did you do a 20-minute or a ramp
The-
test?
The 20-minute with like the long warm-up.
Okay, that's great. Because you tested it with a very good reference, which is a 20-minute. Because we measure, we want to measure the endurance capacity. The more we are moving away from a long effort to test with. For example, in studio, I will sometimes test over a 5-minute effort, and it can overestimate some of the powerful riders. But in your case, I would say you tested it in 20 minutes and you sustain your FTP for close to like over an hour. So it may be a sign of progress, and it may motivate you to do another 20-minute effort soon.
Yeah, for sure. And then I also thought it was, I followed your advice to start kind of a little bit more conservatively, and it was kind of fun to be able to pick people off as they got tired.
Definitely. It's way more motivating to go that way for a long effort. And if I mean, if you have not done a long TT, it's the way to start. A bit more conservative and then picking it up. And same for your 20 minutes. Maybe you were conservative, but it reflected your fitness of the day. Next time you do a 20-minute test, I think that you can head there with a high amount of confidence.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, anyone else? James, coming back from the run. Hi. Great ride out there. It's nice to see people coming back from the run. Some got a snack. Ryan Busteau, how was your ride? Hi.
Hi. It was hard.
Yeah.
Near the end, it was hard.
Nice.
Couldn't
That's
keep
how
the
it should
power
go.
up. Yeah. It
Cool. How do you manage your run?
was good. It's a bit hilly, so that was a bit tougher, but it was good.
Cool. Yeah. The
Finished on the downhill.
Good. Joy of living in the White Rock, right? South Surrey.
Yeah.
Cool. Riders coming back from a run or who went straight off the bike. Again, if you want to start getting cold, you want to get a sweater or gear up for the strength workshop, please do so. Make sure you are comfortable for that. And yeah, no, really good to do a 40K time trial. I think I've done it once in my life. I used to race, I competed on the tandem for the national team. Just like Gina, I was a sprinter, so I used to think that time trial was not my thing. And then when I got recruited to be a pilot tandem at the end of my individual career, I was afraid of the time trial. And my coach at the time told me that, we realized that I had a decent engine, and a big portion of it was about managing the effort. And it changed my mindset, managing the effort and training for it. I spent the winter training for it, and then when spring came, we were able to make our A standard get straight to the World Cup and get some. It actually became our strong suit. So I would say it's really an ability that gets trained, that requires some good management skills as well. That's why I really encourage everyone to look back in their rides and also note some of the sensation or the mental internal talk that you had with yourself during the event, or if there was any period of low or times that you have gotten overly excited. Being aware of it is important. But it's one thing that I like about today is that we're all home. It's a pretty safe environment, and we set a benchmark today, and maybe in the next one we can, if you consider that you've been conservative today, maybe in the next one you can take a little more risk. Who knows? It's all up to you. Karen got cozy. Awesome. Betsy coming back from the run. Well done. Okay, question, comment from Sharon. So that's a really good question. Anyone had that feeling of being between two gears sometimes? Harder to hear me than anyone else, and it should be the opposite. It should be easier to hear me. Let's try this. Is it better? Yes. Thank you. Okay. So that feeling, what I read out of that question, Sharon, is that you had a good gear, but you were a little bit on the lower end in terms of your cadence, your natural cadence. So you're at 88 RPM. You want to spin a little bit faster. So you would you would go one gear easier, but your watts would drop way too much, and that would force you to go at a much higher cadence. So a bit of a feeling of being between two gears. I would say in normal conditions on the road, you have to make a choice in relation to your comfort level and also the speed. For example, if you add one gear, you gain 2K per hour, for example. Is it something that is taxing for you, or is something that you can sustain? Now, one of the question is, should I be setting my trainer differently? I want to ask Brittany if this makes a difference as the Zwift expert. I would, or if anyone else has the answer, it's something I can make some research on and get back to you, Sharon, because it seems like you're not the only one. So we can debrief also. Betsy, you also had that feeling of between gears, and just when you get it right, the terrain changes. So yeah, it was always that flat or 1% or -2. Sometimes it's about being patient and knowing the course that the conditions will change only slightly. It's so you can choose to be patient and wait till the terrain changes. And also being comfortable between 85 up to 95 or 100 RPM, being able to generate the power on a wide spectrum of cadence will give you an advantage in those conditions. So you won't spend too much energy at 95 or 100, and same thing if you're stuck at 80 RPM for a short while. So that would be my advice. We can find out for the trainer settings later on. So Eric, observation. Cool. So the trainer difficulty affects how terrain feels. So the 1% feels easier and harder, and not how hard you push on the flat. Correct. It shouldn't feel like an extra resistance to overcome in a flat terrain. But it can help, I would say, if you have higher resistance, it can help to push, have something against, something that provide you resistance to push against. So if your goal is to get the highest amount of watt for a 20-minute test, for example, you'll do it on a climb. So it can be the same thing in this regard. If you have higher resistance setting, you'll have something more to push against. But on a time trial, your goal is always to get the fastest time possible. And that's why we would want to have low resistance settings. I see Christine, you are back. Welcome back.
How's everybody doing? It was so fun, our runs, and then I ran around a park near the South Douglas Park, and we ran into James Cade and his wife. That was so fun. I was like, saw you outside. That was great. So, okay, awesome. So where are we at in terms of people coming back here? I'm starting to see those people are back. Seems like it. What's our time right here? It is 9:31 in Vancouver. So why don't we give everybody another 2 minutes, and then let's get started. You did some Q&As, Joanie, so this is great.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, Gina's just preparing for us to do some mobility and core. So I hope you guys have got your hydration with you, your nutrition, or whatever it is that you need. Brittany, can you hear us? No, I guess she's not listening. I just wanted, but I will get back to you guys about the trainer. Oh, she can. Brittany, just about the trainer difficulty. You always recommend that 50%, is that right?
Yes, unless your V-ever thing has to go to 100. But yeah, for this, 50%.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
So I think that I think that that's a good setting for most people to have in terms of just where to keep that slider when you're setting up your trainer.
Yeah. Good job, everyone.
Yeah. So one of the things that I really like to do after a training session, and I don't necessarily, I wasn't always great at this when I was training more seriously, but when you finish your training session, to take a little bit of time to integrate it, whether that means just, taking a pause, sitting for a bit, doing a little bit of stretching, really allowing the session to be absorbed mentally and physically, maybe chatting with some friends that you were doing some training with, or your partner who's waiting for you at home, and really allowing the integration to take place as opposed to finishing and right into whatever's coming up for you in your day, or even sitting at your computer and getting right into your computer work, which is something I've been guilty of a lot. I see a lot of performance gains in people who take even 5 minutes right after their training session to integrate. And with that is your nutrition. With that is changing out of your sweaty clothes, getting warm or cooling off, depending on what time of year it's at, and then getting on with whatever you have next. So today is kind of an example of that, where it's so great that we can be all together to do this. And again, you guys, I was dying like a slow death, so I hope you guys were working hard, and we're soon going to see.
I'm anxious to see the results and your metrics. And now we're going to do a little bit of mobility and just a little bit of core work with Gina as a way to kind of wrap things up. And Gina and I did our 5K together, and I've already come up with a couple of other things that we're going to do again in the future, maybe in 6 or 8 weeks time, we'll see. And so this is something we can do as the world continues to be a little bit wacky right now. Hopefully most of you guys felt like that was a big effort and you've developed some fatigue. You've maybe executed perfectly, which is great, or maybe you've learned on how you might want to execute a little bit differently later and next time. I know I did. So, all right, so let's begin. There's 3 of us here. We're gonna pull our mats we'll distance ourselves. And Gina, you ready to rock and roll?
I'm just gonna grab my mask.
Okay, are we gonna use your,
Yeah, we can.
okay, we're gonna use Gina's, wonder if we could make you the speaker view. Anyway, you guys are gonna be following Gina. So set up with your yoga mat, please. So Gina, are you gonna make yourself?
I probably can't do any of this stuff, so I'm just keep writing. Is that all right?
Good.
Yeah, good. I'll watch those.
So Camel, you can probably do it. You want me to do what?
I just didn't know if you wanted to do the focal point.
You guys can hear me? So,
Can we put Gina on a bigger?
can you guys hear me? Give me a thumbs up.
Yeah, Chrissy says yeah.
Yeah, okay, awesome. Okay, hopefully they can hear me over here. You guys can still hear me over there?
Are you going to want me?
Yeah.
I shouldn't bring it closer so I can see everybody. Hold on, guys, I'm just gonna bring you all closer to me. Okay, so get yourself down on a yoga mat or a nice, comfortable, the ground, the floor, carpet, whatever you guys have available, please. Oh, here comes the dogs.
You want any hurt?
There comes the dogs. We might need to.
Her and everyone else.
Okay, we got the dogs coming in to demonstrate downward dog. So. Paw prints. Yeah, downward dog paw prints here. There we go. Okay, should we just get started? Yeah. Okay, good. Let's shut this fast. Okay, guys, we're just gonna work through a little bit of mobility, just to stretch things out a little bit, and then we're gonna get into just a little bit of specific core that I wanted to introduce a few things to you guys that will be helpful for you to integrate into your training programs with Christine or whoever you guys are being trained by. So let's just lay the ground. Some of this may be new to you, some of this may not be new to you, but we're just gonna start off by doing a little bit of a release of the low back. I don't know what you, my low back was getting a little bit tight there, so let's just do a little bit of the bent knee wipers. I'll demonstrate from a few different angles. So just moving your knees from side to side. Again, if anything bothers you in a wrong way with any of these exercises, then please don't do them. They may not be right for everybody. So just rocking back and forth through like that. Okay, when you get to one side, what you're gonna do is you're gonna lower the bottom leg down if you can see me. Okay, you're gonna lower the bottom leg down when you're on one side. You're gonna put your hand on the other knee. You're gonna twist to look over the other shoulder. Can you guys see me? So I'm gonna move in a different, slightly different angle here. Okay, and just make sure that you're really looking over that other shoulder towards that hand that's reached out. And take 3 deep, deep diaphragmatic breaths to fill your rib cage as much as you can. You'll notice that with the inhale, you're going to feel probably more of a stretch. And slowly come out of that. And then switch to the other side. You're going to roll to one side, grab onto that top knee, reach that arm out, and you're going to look towards that outreach hand. Take 3 deep breaths. And unwind yourself from that. From there, just give yourself a big knee hug. Move to the side here, big knee hug. Trying to grab your elbows if you can. Okay, or whatever part of your arm you can. Rest your head on the ground and just think about lengthening your spine. Man, this feels good. Lengthening your spine and trying to get your coccyx or your low back on the ground, your shoulders on the ground. You might feel a pinching sensation in your hips. Yeah. That's your tight hip flexors from the effort today or efforts day after day after day. I certainly feel a pinching, but don't be scared of that pinching. That's okay. Unless it starts to bother you after the section, then that's not okay. Okay, unwrap yourself from that and roll yourself over onto your back, or sorry, onto your tummy, Okay, and just come up into like a scorpion, like what I call scorpion type pose. Okay, you can either be here depending on your mobility or down like this. And what we're gonna do, you guys, you're gonna reach your one leg over to the side and tap your toe on the ground behind you. Okay, so be gentle with this, and let's do 4 taps per side. I'll switch directions here so you can see me from another direction, and tap each side 4 times. There's 3, and 4, and come back over to the other side. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just coming back up into a kneeling position. And cup your hands right in front of you, arms up overhead, and we're going to be locking our hips down and tilting side to side through here. Okay, through there, just down into child's pose position. Reaching out, walk your hands as far forward as you can, and walk your hands to one side. Taking 3 deep breaths here. Again, really expanding that rib cage. You'll intensify the stretch. And walking your hands to the other side. Good job, you guys. Okay, coming back up onto your hands and knees. I'll demonstrate through this way so you can see me. Okay, so this is the quadruped position. You know, oftentimes in the quadruped position, I'll see people sag their back and have an overly exaggerated low back. Now, actually, let me take my sweater off so you can see me a little bit more. You have these little tiny muscles that line your spine. And it's called the multifidus muscles. And those are extremely important core stabilizing muscles that are very hard to work if they become sleepy. And where I see in the gym, where I see people's multifidus muscles being sleepy is as soon as they come into a quadruped position like this, they sink their low back. And this is also very noticeable when I have somebody do a simple quadruped reach like this. Oftentimes they compensate by rotating like this or by arching like this. Can you guys kind of understand that? Okay, so if Christine or I or anybody has you doing a quadruped, at first I thought it was just a simple exercise where you kind of go back and forth like this, but it actually has to do with the correct positioning of your low back. Okay, so let's just walk through the extremes of this quadruped position. The first one is the camel. Okay, and then I guess what they call the cat, which is the absolute reverse. So here you're trying to make that arch as big as you can, and then back to the camel. And the cat. And one more time. I thought cats have a big back too when they get scared. Maybe I'm having it reversed. Anyways, you gotta get the point. Okay, now from here, you guys, let's come back into just a neutral position. Okay, in this neutral position, put your hand in your low back. Okay, and now just make a little camel with that. So it's almost like a tail tuck. You want to tuck your tail underneath. So you want to tuck it under, Christine. Yeah, as much as you can. Good. And now stick your tail out and wag your tail. That's a good way. Okay, good. Okay, good. Now I want you to come back just halfway between those two, between a tail tuck and the tail wag. Okay, now that halfway point, and if I were with you, I would put my hand and kind of feel that position of the arch, but try to find that halfway point. And from there, what I want you to do is keep your hand in your low back, and I want you to tuck your tummy in, bring your belly button in towards your spine, and I want you to just push your right, whichever one leg back, the leg that's supported with the hand. Okay, and what you want to do is try to make this movement while maintaining the position of your low back without arching either way or twisting your hips. Okay, and back. I really want to emphasize really tucking your belly button in. Thinking about what I like to think about is somebody grabbing my tummy and squeezing everything in towards the middle. Like you're really grabbing in through and trying to make your midline as small as possible. Okay, so let's do a couple repetitions of that. Okay, so hand on your low back, find that neutral mid position, and you're going to push that leg back and forth 5 times. 2, 3, and if you're grabbing your tummy hard enough, you should feel this kicking in through your core. 4 and 5. Good. Let's switch sides here. Putting your hand in your low back. Let's reassess. Let's do the extreme camel, the extreme cat, and then right in between. And let's do 5 kickbacks with that one leg back and forth. So Christine, tuck your tail in a little bit more. Yeah, so as soon as you started, well, the third one, you started to arch a little bit. Did you feel that? If you have a family member around too, you can do that. So you can have them help you look at your back as well. So now let's bring this into, so again, I wanted to go over these, I wanted to go over these steps with you because it's kind of going back to the basics of doing these things properly. A lot of you guys have exercises from me in the gym doing these kind of movements, but I wanted to bring it back to some very simple, like the basics on doing the exercise absolutely properly, okay? So now let's do our normal hand and arm reach, but let's just come back to neutral. Okay, neutral being in the quadruped position. But let's set our back, let's do the camel, and the dog leg with the cat, Bring yourself back to neutral. Grip in with your core, belly button tucked in, and give me a big reach. Now, guys, when you're reaching, it's not an arm lift, it's not a leg lift. It's what I'm saying is it's a reach. Okay. Now, when you're reaching with your hand, if you're a swimmer, I want you to think about grabbing without rotating. I want you to think about reaching your arm as far forward as you can. Okay, it's that reach that actually helps to engage that multifidus muscle. Okay, so it's not just an arm lift, it's as if you're being pulled. It's as if someone's pulling your fingers and pulling your heel. Okay, you should feel a different sensation there than just lifting. Okay, more reach, Christine. Really reach. Let's get your palm down. Palms down. Okay, so now arms up by your ear. Higher. Now reach, push. And holding this should be tiring. You should feel, right? Do you guys feel that? It's tension building up in your body. Okay, switch sides. Okay, it's almost like you're lifting a weight without lifting weights, if that makes sense. So really reach, push, keeping those hips down, keeping those hips neutral. Reach, push, and back. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take 3 deep breaths within this movement. Okay, so here we go. Set your back, arch, find that neutral. Pretend as if another analogy I like to use is pretend as if a snake is squishing your tummy. Everything squished in, belly button squished in. Okay, here we go, and push and reach. Take 3 deep breaths. Really reach. And back. Okay, so can you guys feel the difference there when you're reaching versus just lifting? Dave?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Ready, other side. Big reach and push. Reach and push. Reach and push. And relax. Good, just come down to child's pose and stretch that out. Walk your hands to one side, take 2 breaths. And walk your hands to the other side. And take 2 breaths. Good. Now, another way you can also work on working this multifidus muscle is going right onto the ground. Okay, so it's called, another thing I have sometimes prescribed is Superman's. Get my hat off. Sorry for the bad sweat hair here. But I'm gonna talk you guys through it, and then you guys are gonna do it. Okay. So you're gonna have your head down, and the hard thing about this movement is actually finding that neutral again with your spine. Okay, because we tend to sink through our spine when we come into this relaxed position. Okay, again, I want you to tuck your tail under, arch your back maximally, and then find that mid position. Once you find that mid position, it's actually fairly hard to keep that position, tummy tucked in, everything's squeezing in towards the midline. And from there, you're gonna raise, actually it's really freaking hard right now, because I'm so tired, but you're gonna raise one arm and one leg without that change in your back. Okay, as soon as you raise that one arm and one leg, I bet you anybody you're gonna start to feel a change in that back. So, Christine, tuck your tail under more. Yeah, that's gonna hold that, and now try to do you just done. Did you feel that? Okay, tuck under, hold, and that was a little bit better. Hard, right? Okay, guys. So so hard. So find that mid range. Okay, and give yourself about 6 repetitions per side. It's a fight. We actually really have to fight it. Right? Okay, so find that mid range. Try to raise that arm up while maintaining that neutral position. Because people, when they do this, you'll see they just arch their back. They arch their back, they rotate, and that's not the purpose of the exercise. The purpose of the exercise is actually a multifidus strengthening. Do about 6 per side. And I want to re-emphasize here again, you guys, the reach. Okay, so it is an arm lift, but I also want you to think about reaching like we did in the quadruped. Okay, like we did in the quadruped, reach. And once you get that reach in there, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it up and down your spine when you're reaching. It's like you're lying on the ground and there's a corridor right in front of you, and you need to reach forward with your fingertips to grab that corridor. Yeah, that was good, Christine. Good. I really need that quarter. Okay, it's a 2-week. Enough for coffee, anyways. Oh, wait, that's not enough for coffee.
What planet do you live on?
So practicing this, you guys, practicing this movement. Just come up on your elbows and kind of relax that for a minute. Practicing these 2 movements, I don't know about you guys, but I felt that it was harder on the ground.
Yeah.
Like when I was actually on my stomach and having to maintain that neutral position on the tummy, it's really hard. So the fundamentals are on the ground, and then as you move up, but it's sometimes easier to teach people when they're not being quadruped, and then you bring them down once to get that kind of that body position. So even just hanging out right here in your elbows is a nice little stretch for your low back as we talk. I can stay here all day right now. Okay, guys. So moving on. I could probably spend all day doing this because I like this stuff as well. But let's bring ourselves into a rolling pattern. So what I'm bringing us through is some fundamental. It's called dynamic neuromuscular stabilization work with our back. So the fundamental movement patterns are crawling, rolling. Babies when they first start to get up, they get up like this, right? And they start to roll over, and they start to kind of get up, and then they start to crawl, and they start to kneel. So all these progressions are actually on how our body was able to neuromuscularly train our back and stabilizers to support ourselves to run and walk. So I want to do one last thing, and that's a rolling pattern. Okay, some of you guys have had a prescription from me to do hand to knee rolling. Okay, I'm sure some of you guys are nodding. I can't see everybody right now, but what I actually want to do today is just a happy baby's pose roll. Okay, so the happy baby's pose, happy baby, I think that's what it's called. Yeah. This one is actually very, very hard as well, in that you want to be in again like a quadruped position, but you're on your back. And what you're going to do is roll over to the side with control and try to catch yourself and roll yourself back. So let me try that again a little bit better. There's going to be a tipping point where you're going to want to catch yourself. And for me, it's about there. And then again, nice and tight to the core and rotate back to neutral. Okay, let's do 4 times per side, you guys. So you're moving your shoulders and your hips at the same time in your head. And here. Okay, you're trying not to have any torsion on your body. You want to try to move your body. Instead of, you don't want to whip your body over, you want to fight it. Okay, you want to fight it to maintain that position. Let's try for 4 per side, you guys. Okay, now at that point when you're struggling to maintain that position, you're going to find that you're going to start to hinge on your T-spine. Right, your T-spine is going to want to break. Try not to let that T-spine break. Right, yeah, there it is, Christina. Yeah, good. Can you guys feel that? That T-spine wanting to sink? You're trying to fight that T-spine from sinking. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is hard. Whoa. And one more this side. Okay, good, and just have the knees, guys, when you're done there. Some people like to roll themselves back and forth to get a bit of a lower back massage. Okay, coming into a seated position. And we're just gonna do some knee drops, which look like this. You're gonna drop your knee back and forth. Get into the hip joints a little bit more. So that's all the core that I wanted to go over today, is just getting back to some fundamental concepts that I integrate into more complex movements in the gym, but they all stem around and upon these fundamental concepts, bringing back that, again, that dynamic neuromuscular stabilization work. And we progress things as we go from there. So if you have any prescriptions from me or Christine for exercises like that, I just want to keep you guys to keep in mind the kind of the foundation of where those movements come from. Okay, so after these knee drops, let's get into some hip circles. Again, quadruped position, and just nice and big through here. Can't overemphasize the importance of getting into just some hip hip mobility without stretching, if that makes sense. I think this one feels so good. Both ways, guys, both ways. This can also be a glute exercise, but today we're using it as just a nice hip mobility exercise. Good, and then other side, 4 or 5 per direction. Now let's go back into that knee drop position. Actually, sorry, no, I wanted to do no, not the knee drop position. We're gonna do something called a shin box. Okay, and this is now that we've kind of opened up our hips a little bit, doing those 2 other movements. A shin box is where you're I guess it's called a shin box because you get that foot out a little bit further, Christine. You're making like a box. Kind of making a box and kind of box their shin. Okay, so a shin box is where you go from this position and switch around to the other position. Good, yep. And then this position and switch around to the other position. So from here, this could be integrated into a core exercise where you start to be able to do this without touching. Look at her. And through like this. Okay, so you'll feel your obliques working through here. You'll feel your transverse abdominis will be working. And let's give it a little bit more work by tucking your tummy, your belly button in. Okay, now this can also be made a little bit harder by kicking in a weight through here and reaching up through here. And reaching up through there.
Yeah, and that.
Oh, using the 25-pound weights, eh? Oh, Christine's whipping up the big guns over here. So the straighter the arms, the better it is. Nice and tall, don't arch your back. So can you feel the difference there, you guys? Yeah. And through. So again, you don't need a weight, but you can certainly go on. You can certainly use that. Okay, that was it. Let's get into the last stretch for today. And that's progressing upon the one we did at the beginning. We're going to get into a pretzel stretch. So now instead of just having this leg straight, the bottom leg straight, you're going to bend that bottom leg and come into a quad stretch. That's it. And rotation. So this is a little bit more intense. Yeah. So a couple of deep breaths there. So just in a review here today, guys, Went through some simple mobility, mobility and stretching at the very beginning, and progressed into the dynamic neuromuscular stabilization work. A couple exercises there. Into a little bit more hip mobility. Oops, grab this. A little bit more hip mobility, and the last one was that shin box with incorporating a core exercise if you raise your arms and or grab a weight. So all these things are really good for all three sports of cycling, swimming, and running. And just general good for you. Yeah. Oh man, actually, I really needed this. This is good. Yeah. Okay, guys, let's just put your feet down. Give me a couple hip lifts, just in preparation to stand back up and move for the rest of the day, because that has to happen today. And sitting, rolling yourself back up, sitting up, and just put both hands out like this with straight feet. Okay, now this is the last one. Just follow along very closely with me here. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to really pay attention to this, because I do not want anybody to hurt themselves. Okay? Hands out. Okay, carefully raise your hands behind your shoulder. Careful. And then pat yourself on the shoulder. Congratulations.
Nice.
Thank you, everybody. Oh man. And I totally did. I didn't plan that, you guys. That was just ad lib. Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys
so
so
much
much
for
for being here today.
I
been connecting
individually as
you
well,
guys
especially
individually
if I
as
work
well.
with you.
Especially if I
I
work
really
with
want
you.
to hear your
I
feedback.
really want to hear your feedback
And just
too.
as we wrap up, I want
And just as we wrap up, I want everybody to be able to get on with their day, 10 o'clock in
Hey, you have some
Standard Time,
feedback.
so that was a great
Can't hear
I
you,
want to just
Christine.
I want to just mention again, Europe cycling, Joanne, this
Guys, we can't hear anything.
do that from anywhere. You can just
do that from anywhere. You can just
We
join
can't
her.
hear you,
Europe
Christine.
cycling.
Obviously,
Gina has got, obviously, you guys know Gina, she's doing
strength
a lot of
individually with you guys.
strength
She also
individually
runs
with you guys, but she
Zoom
also
class
runs
on Tuesday mornings at 6:30, which I'll circulate in an email. And then, as many of you know, I'm doing a Zwift ride on Wednesday nights at 5:30 Vancouver time. So again, I am so anxious for your feedback. I'm going to be connecting with each of you. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day. Good work. Signing off. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Hi, Brittany.
Let's leave,
I made it.
You can keep Gina and Christine if you guys want to have a quick